So, we actually just got done watching the Moon Knight trailer. What were your thoughts?
I thought the costume was pretty interesting because it like forms around him. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that they were going to do that, obviously. So that was pretty cool to see. It makes me wonder if, just thinking out loud here, I wonder if he is seeing that, but it's not actually happening. You know what I mean? Like it's just part of his psychosis.
Oh, I'm actually glad that you said that because I was thinking the exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah. Because I do think that in his head, that's happening.
Right, yeah.
To him, it's like so real. Anyways, you were saying?
Yeah, I like that. Not that I like, obviously he's in a lot of pain and anguish and going through an awful lot of stuff, but it was really cool seeing him, like, awaken. Like, obviously his other parts were there, and then he awakes and he's like, what the hell's going on, you know?
Yeah.
He was in, like, that car scene with obviously he had just shot somebody, I think, and so that was kind of interesting to see. It's, like, kind of a scary thing, you know what I mean? Like, if you were to put yourself in that shoes, like, it would be so scary to live that kind of life that you have to lock yourself to your bed.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, you know how much I love psychology.
Okay.
So I'm super excited about this, and the way that I'm still super excited to watch The Joker, haven't done it yet, is I think they're going to take the audience through a complete mind F. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to make it really hard to tell if he has multi-personality. Like, he's just gone so far into this, like, psychotic break that, you know how, like, that happens, and then with some people, they'll just break and have, like, that multi-personality stuff going on.
I don't really have that kind of background on it.
Well, anyways, I feel like they are going to, like, take the audience through does he really have, like, this ancient god controlling half of his being some of the time of the day? Or is he, like, having, like, a psychotic break or whatever words?
I think
it's 2 a.m. Forgive me, my words aren't.
I think that's what they do.
Accurate. You guys know what I'm saying.
As a normal, like that's the normal shtick for him. Is you're not
Right.
sure if he's crazy or if he actually has these powers. At least at this point in time, it's I know like earlier, from what I understand, the earlier storylines it was more cut and dry. But I think after the Lemire ones, it was not so cut and dry.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I'm hoping they make it really hard to tell if he's, like I said, multi-personality or whatever, having this psychotic break, or if he has the god controlling him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, like, people do, like, you know how they say, like, you can tap into, like, retard strength, and you'll see people, like, hear about people.
Say that?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But you know what I'm saying? Like, where people have, like, that adrenaline strength. I'm sorry. And, you know, you hear about these people, like, rescuing their kid from, like, their vehicle flips. And they, like, rescue their kid out of the vehicle. And it's, like, that strength. You know what I mean? Because if he goes into, like, this break that really makes him tap into that type of strength, it would be really hard to tell if, like, the god's controlling him or if, like, his multi-personality is so strong that he is actually strong as moon, like this strong crime fighter. You know what I mean?
I never read anything before the Lemire run. Like, that was my first introduction to him. And I could never tell if he had superpowers, like if Khonshu gave him actual superpowers, or if he was just, because he was a mercenary and, like, in the military and all that kind of stuff, he knew how to fight and he used it that way.
Yeah.
Or if he had, like, any special skills. Obviously, in the trailer they show him, like, jumping across a street of buildings. You know what I mean? That's not just, like, an alleyway to like building from an alleyway. That was over a street. So he obviously has some sort of superpowers, right?
Right.
Some, I don't know. I guess like
But does he?
Captain America-esque
Yeah.
superpowers.
But it's like it could go either way. Like, yeah, if he's like got this god dude in him, then yes, that is actually really happening. But if he's having a psychotic break, then we could be seeing things how it is in his mind. You know how Smalls is. You know what I mean? He jumped so high he touched the ceiling fan.
Yeah.
And in his world, he touched the ceiling fan.
So my thoughts are, because he has to,
Smalls is our kid, by the way.
because eventually they're gonna probably want him in other movies and other TV shows or that kind of thing. He will have these superpowers, I would imagine.
Right.
Because it would look too weird if he is only thinking it and we're seeing it from another superhero's perspective instead of his own,
Yeah.
and nothing's happening. You know what I mean? So he's got to have some sort of the ability. Just
Right.
has to deal with his own psychosis at the same time.
Right. Yeah, that is true. Because I do think, like, when his costume appeared around him in the trailer, I feel like that might have been in his head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, yeah, it could have been Conchu, right? Wrapping it around him and making him that way.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
I know. I'm
So-
so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. All right. So, yeah. What else do you think? That trailer was it's so much
So
to
the
unpack.
first trailer we saw, you can see him like punching something on the ground or the wall or something, and then in this trailer you can see what it is, and you can see it's like kind of like a deformed leg and like a deformed arm. I know you said zombie, hoping I think,
Or vampire.
but then you also pointed out that he saw that lady's arm was a mummy.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking
I
it's
think
like
it's
a
in
mummy.
his head.
I'm thinking it's a mummy on the ground that he's punching, right? Or whatever.
It was hard to see because we watched it on the phone, but the way that he saw the lady as a mummy or whatever, she was
Or
wrapped.
an old lady?
Yeah. And then when she came into the elevator, and then he's like, "Oh, I dropped my contact lens," you know, and she's like, "Oh."
Yeah, so in the run that I read, he can't tell at one point. He can't tell if he's in an insane asylum or if he's in like a this other thing, and the wards are like Khonshu's minions, you know what I mean? And he's transitioning back and forth between these torturers at an insane asylum versus these people trying to get to him, and it's the same person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you as the reader and him as the character, you can't tell which one's real and which one's not. So
Sorry,
I
my
can see
hand's
them
a little shaky.
doing that, you know, in that movie where
Yeah.
like you don't know in the end which is real and which is not.
I know. I really hope that they just make it that way, where it's like really hard for you as the watcher
Like
to
an
tell
Inception style at the end
and
with the
make
dreidel
you
thing.
feel like you're like almost in it with him, you know? But when you said like it would be hard to bring him into other storylines without the actual powers, I don't necessarily think that's true, because if you think of the Joker, this would be like Marvel's Joker, but not in a supervillain way. I think that would be
I was more talking about like
amazing.
him jumping across the street from building to
Oh.
building. Like that would
Yeah.
be a really weird thing to show with somebody else around if it wasn't actually happening.
Yeah. Touche.
And then I'd be interested to find out what is actually happening. You know what I mean? When he jumps across the street.
Yeah.
Is he actually jumping off a building, or that just like if they were gonna fake it, is it him just like walking across
Yeah.
and he's blacking out?
Well, that might be one of those things that makes Moon Knight interesting, is that maybe we'll never know. For a while, at least. You know what I mean? And when we see through things through his point of view, he's jumping across the street like that, like a kid, like Smalls, like our son, tells us these stories about how he like jumped off the bed and hit his head on our bolted ceiling. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like super high. But like maybe at some point they'll show somebody watching him or him on the news and he's like jumping over a puddle.
That would be
And we
so. I
already
don't think
saw that
so.
same scene
That
when
would be
he's
so
jumping across the
disappointing
street.
if that's what they did. Like it could be funny, but I don't think with the serious
You know
tone
what
of the
I'm
movie,
saying?
that would be so disappointing.
But it's also heavy and light at the same time because there was a couple scenes that almost makes you chuckle.
I think it makes me feel bad,
It
like
does.
for the person, like the character,
Yeah.
because he's so backstory. I don't know if have I already told you about my concussion.
You have, but you've told me many stories about this same story, and I feel like I haven't gotten the full story yet.
So there was this one time I was snowboarding and I
Right.
was on a mountain and I'm pretty good, right? And they put a new rail into the park area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's called a C rail. So it's like two rails and it's in the shape of a C, right? And I had never done it before. So I sat there for a second. I got up and I went, and the next thing I know, I was at the lodge. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And I started crying. I'm a full grown man. I wasn't a kid. I was in the military. And I just started crying because I was so confused of how I got there. Because I was like, I was just up there, you know what I mean? And like now I'm here. And I don't know why like this happened. Like, how did I teleport? And I could just imagine like in that moment what he's feeling when he like awakens from his previous life or whatever. Like when he wakes up in the van and he's just so confused.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a scary, scary moment. And so it's kind of funny, like to us in the moment, like to see him like startled in that way, like, oh, that's kind of a funny
Yeah.
situation, but that's like so scary to like wake up in that moment.
Yeah. Touche.
So
Or, yeah.
so it's like a little bit light, but it's like also very dark and very deep.
Yeah. Or like when he was like, "Why'd you call me Mark?"
Yeah.
on the phone. Yeah. Now here's a little bit of a touchy subject for some people watching. Nobody get like upset or whatever. We're just having fun conversation here. But Moon Knight, the Fist of Khonshu #2 blew up and I about died because okay, so last week
We just sold a #1 for like
Yeah.
$10.
Well, the thing is I was like, you know what? Like for someone that's specking on this, it's going to be a fun book to put for auction. So we put Khonshu #1 up for auction. I have been specking on Khonshu, but like not in a way that I was like stacking on it. I bought 0 #2s. I didn't care that much. Tony and I have conversations like this all the time where it's like, I think this is gonna happen. And we won't like go stack the book, but it's like one of those like I told you so moments, so I just think it's fun. Anyways, how do you feel about now that that book was $3 and now it's like over 100? I'm like so
Well, I'm not
funny.
really sure what the prices were, to be honest. I remember being a little disappointed at $10 or what. I think it sold for around $10. I don't really remember.
Yeah, Moon
Fist of
Knight, Fist of
Khonshu,
Khonshu
yeah.
one, but Fist of Khonshu 2 is the one that's crazy expensive now.
Yeah, because apparently, I guess he said the word Howie or something like that, and that's like the
Howie,
first
yeah.
appearance of Howie for #2. So I don't know. Seems pretty random to me.
Yeah,
Because I also don't know the mythos of Moon Knight that well to know if Howie's like a huge deal, if it's going to be a one-time movie, or if it's like a normal character that's going to be around for a while.
Oh, and you plugged my phone in 1 sec.
Let me know.
All right, we plugged in. We good.
Yeah, so the last thing I want to talk about, which you just brought up and it just like popped in my head, was that he didn't call himself Mark, right? The lady called him Mark.
Yeah,
on the phone.
and he was like, "Wait, why did you just call me that?"
But Mark is his normal name. Like that's his regular name is Mark Spector, right?
Mhm.
So it'd be really weird because it seems like we're gonna get a different character, and not the main character is who we're following from the beginning.
I think we're gonna get both.
What did you catch? What name they called him from the beginning? Like, because I know he has a few names. I think Jake Lockley is one, and obviously Mark
Yeah.
Spector, and there's a couple others, but I don't remember.
I didn't. I'd have to. We only watched it the one time. We didn't like go back and like look for anything.
And like analyze it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on Cosmic Wonders, like super analyzing one.
But yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna get a little bit of all of it. Honestly.
Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty interesting. I wonder what character we're getting at the beginning. The one that's keeps awakening up.
Yeah.
Because Mark Spector's the one that was like in the army or in the military, and then was a mercenary, and then that's the one that found Khonshu and all that kind of stuff and got the powers. And then, do you know his backstory at all? Like how
Hmm.
the original ones went? Yeah. If you guys don't know, basically, he's like, okay, well, I'll be Moon Knight. I'll be your like moon god person or whatever. And he goes around doing his Batman thing essentially. And then he's like, okay, I need to like talk to these billionaires. How am I gonna do that? And he comes up with this persona to talk to these like rich people. And he comes up with a persona to be a cab driver to like get information. And then eventually he can't determine which self is his true self, and then he becomes all selves essentially, and he rotates between them. Is what I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a little bit of all of it.
What do you think his leg lock combo is going to be? You think is going to be like the a driver, not the driver, the license plates? You know what I mean? Where it's like a kind of a funny nod.
What do you mean?
Like so they could do like the year and the number, right? So like the year of Werewolf by Night 32, and then the number 32.
Oh, how they put those little like fun Easter egg things in there?
Right.
I don't know. Um, it might be his first appearance. Werewolf by Night is what I would assume. But, anyways, I had to bring up that Fist of Khonshu book just to make you laugh a little bit and poke.
Thanks. So yeah, it could be like 75-32. So it's like a little leg combo.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I'm super excited about this show though. Like super excited about it.
If you, I don't know that much, like I said, about Moon Knight, but what do you think the end credit scene thing is going to be?
It could take so many directions. It could take so many directions.
Do you think it'll be like a Blade, it'll like go into the Blade
Do you
situation?
think it'll introduce Blade with that? I mean, you wouldn't think that they would. I mean, yeah, Blade's technically already. Yeah, I was gonna say it's already Blade in the MCU from the Eternals thing, but
that's what I think it'd be a Blade thing.
They could also introduce Werewolf at some point, but I'm not sure because if they take a spin on this movie where it's like very, very real and there's not much fantasy stuff, you know what I mean?
I think it's gonna be fantasy. Like we already saw, there's mummies and stuff. Like it's almost as fantasy as you can get.
Yeah, touche. But like, I don't know if they'll put werewolf in it just yet.
I don't think so. I would love it.
I don't think. I know I'm ready for werewolf, but I don't think the MCU's built.
I think
werewolf yet.
They'll use it to like keep pushing Blade, because Blade is like going to be a huge movie, and it's going to open up the door to their horror area or their monster area or whatever. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be like something like that, where we get a vampire or we get something. Not that I'm sure they cross over that often, but I think it'll be a Blade situation.
Yeah. Because there's got to be a big baddie, I feel like, that he just has to come across at some point.
Who do you think is there going to be a bad guy?
There's got to be.
Who's the Ethan Hawke bad guy? Howie. Marvel.
All right, what'd you find?
All right, so apparently it's not Howie, it's Harrow. Arthur Harrow. Alias Agent Harrow. Affiliations is Omnium, all with the periods.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. No dual identities, American, clinical research scientist. Let's see, usually goes out of Mexico, Paraguay, that kind of thing. Let's see. History. Oh, Nobel Prize for Medicine. That's cool. Pain theory, whatever that is. Powers and abilities. Let's see. Arthur Harrow was a talented surgeon scientist, but had suffered from trigeminal neuralgia, which paralyzed the left side of his face, pulled the left side of his mouth into a permanent snarl, and caused him a constant agonizing pain. How is that an ability? Who is this guy? What would he do? Let's see, Grail raised objection to nomination. She traced documents relating to secret experiments, scientists in Auschwitz back to Harrow. Documents have been ordered to be destroyed in Nuremberg trial. Let's see, despite allegedly being in Mexico to research jaguar and armadillo. Ooh, that's interesting, armadillo. Let's see. Grail was certain that Dr. Harrow was carrying on the Auschwitz experiments and was sent by the Nobel Committee to interview him and report back to Stockholm. That's it. That's all there is with that guy.
All right. Well, the only thing I took out of that is the Auschwitz thing, which leads me to Magneto, which leads me to. I always try to get everything to lead to the X-Men, but it's never gonna work.
One thing you gotta remember is that in 1985, I guess, World War II was only
I know, I was
40
just
years
joking
ago,
around. I was obviously joking.
So they'd have to figure out something else. So he's just a bad scientist guy. Yeah. Apparently.
I don't know. I mean, he could be battling himself this whole movie and then doing like the street villains.
Oh no, this guy's the bad guy. They said that Ethan Hawke is the main bad guy.
And yeah, the bad guy, but I'm saying like he could also be like battling himself, like trying to figure this shit out. Yeah. So much to unpack from that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's 3 a.m.
Oh shoot, I need to get to bed, dude.
All right. Good night. Let us know what you thought of the trailer. Put your predictions in the comments, right? Yeah. Let us know what you think. And then once Moon Knight comes back, we can come back and watch this.
Yeah. Feel free to give us any corrections as well, because we're not super well versed in Moon Knight.
Especially at 3 a.m. Yeah. All right. Good night. Thanks for watching. Oh, yeah. Wisconsin King Comics. Sammy, Tony. Yeah. Like, subscribe, ding, ding. Notification bell and stuff. All right. We're going to bed.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So we just went back, rewatched the trailer, and on this channel Emergency Awesome to see if we missed anything, we back. Because who was Moon Knight beating the shit out of, babe?
Apparently it was beating up a Werewolf by Night.
And what was my first guess on who it was when we could barely see the screen?
I don't recall exactly who you said.
So when we first watched the trailer, Tony's like, who do you think that to? Because like you could barely see it on, like, look how tiny our phone is, right? We were watching that trailer on that thing. Hang on, babe, you're gonna have to hold up on the addresses for a minute. Anyways, when we first watched it, Tony was like, who do you think that is? And I was like, I think it's Werewolf. And he was like, no, there's no way it's Werewolf. He's got like pants on or whatever you said. And I was like, I don't know, like a zombie or vampire, right? Anyways. Boom.
Anyways, that's pretty interesting.
I'm freaking stoked. I'm so freaking stoked.
I don't know anything about Werewolf by Night. I know far less about Werewolf by Night than I do Moon Knight.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited about the monsters, the twists that they're taking. 100%. All that stuff is like really fun.
I thought they were going to leak. I didn't realize that Werewolf by Night had something coming out soon.
Yeah, in Halloween time.
I think you were telling me about that. I was. Like it was a Halloween thing, but I didn't know what it was. But yeah, I thought they were going to sprinkle the monsters out a little bit longer, and that Blade was going to start basically the Monsterverse, right? But now obviously Moon Knight's starting the Monsterverse. And I'm super stoked because that means we're going to get them much faster.
Yeah. I'm excited. And they did it like Emergency Awesome was saying, that's another Easter egg for the trailers that they released it on a full moon. Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, you did say that. Because like we saw the moon earlier today when we were driving around. She was like, oh, look at the moon. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's full moon snap. Holla. I'm excited. I'm so excited, actually. Do you think Werewolf's really there? Do you think it's in its head? That's going to be the mind F. Because what if...
Everything can't be in his head, Sam.
I'm just saying. Could you imagine? What if they do like a... Do you remember what we went through 1 year ago with Mephisto? Everybody was like, it's Mephisto, it's Mephisto. And Agatha was like, holla. It was me. You know? So... I don't know. This is just one of those things where they might be like mind effing us. No. That was definitely Werewolf. For sure. That was a werewolf. Straight up. Whatever. He's in there.
The only other possible thing it could be is like Anubis.
Wait.
Right?
My saying is, what if we get to the end of this show And it was all in his head that, like, when he sees bad guys, they're like a werewolf or a mummy. You know what I mean? What if, because Disney Plus has a way of mind effing, I'm just saying, it's a thought. It's a really far stretch, but it crossed my mind. It crossed my mind. However, either way, I'm super excited that there's a werewolf in the show. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Anyways, it could also be Anubis.
Dude, this just brings in like all Werewolf by Night, because Werewolf by Night, you've got like the first battle of Werewolf and Dracula. Obviously, you get Moon Knight. What if Dracula rolls up in here looking for the Darkhold? Because the Darkhold is still up in here. You know what I mean? The Darkhold's still in the MCU. That bad boy belongs to Dracula.
When does Moon Knight come out? Moon Knight's going to come out after
In March.
Multiverse of Madness, right?
It's in March. Multiverse of Madness is after.
It's going to be after? Oh,
yeah.
Well, then they're not going to go after the Darkhold, because Scarlet Witch will have the Darkhold.
But that could be at the end, is like Dracula's like, yo, where the F my book at?
I hope.
Where my book at?
I hope Dracula says that.
I'm just saying, like, what if, like, earlier you were saying, like, with the, what do you shake your head at? Well, it's a possibility. Like, earlier you were saying, what do you think the big Easter egg will be at the end of the show? What if it's like Dracula, like, where my book at?
I mean, I can see
seriously though.
I can see a Dracula, because I think it'll be Blade centric either way. Yeah. So Dracula would also be Blade centric. So.
Right. Let me reword that. Where's my book at?
Oh my god.
My Darkhold is up in here.
I hope none of our friends and family from Transylvania are mortified.
But for real though, in all seriousness, obviously Dracula and Werewolf have a lot that go down in the OG Werewolf by Night series.
I don't know. I never read it. I really don't know anything about it.
Oh. Well, doesn't matter. I'm excited. Like, super excited. Like, way more excited than I thought I would be originally.
Really?
Yeah. Well, obviously, my level of excitement has definitely changed in the past. We watched that trailer. We were just on here recording at 3. It's 3:20 now. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Level of stokedness. How, on the level of 0 to a 10, how excited are you for Moon Knight?
I'm extremely excited for many, many reasons. Not just because of Moon Knight in general, but because I like the psychotropic drugs you basically have to be on to understand it. I like the fact that it's going to be like that nitty gritty fight scenes and things like that. It's not so PG-13. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be much darker, and I really like that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. What were you going to say about that when I said the whole thing, like you were about to cut me off and you were saying something about something with an L name?
Huh?
Or did you already say that?
What are you talking about?
I don't remember.
Something with an L name?
Yeah.
What?
Is it...
What was the topic?
I don't know. A Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, Dracula. I don't remember. I don't know. But you were cutting me off. I wanted to finish what I was saying, and then... Did you finish saying what? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Was this earlier or just now?
Like, literally within the last 7 minutes and 7 seconds.
Oh, I have no idea.
Anyways. All right. I'm happy about all of this.
Good.
Like, really happy. Now I gotta wait till March.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
Is that the next thing? Is that the only thing? Right? There's nothing until that comes out?
I don't know.
Okay. Let us know in the comments if you guys know.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments how excited you are about Werewolf by Night 2. I'm friggin' stoked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let us know.
You think it's gonna be
I'm like 11.
You think it's gonna be Jack Russell or the new guy?
I don't think it's gonna be the new guy. The guy that and this is just my thoughts on it, Marvel's always been very, very good. And you know how I feel about that. Marvel has always been very good at representing. I do not think that they would misrepresent the new Werewolf by Night. The guy that they casted, I just feel like that's not a thing. This got to be Jack Russell. Because I don't think Moon Knight would misrepresent. Like, look at
Do you
Echo.
know why they fight each other? Why does Moon Knight fight Werewolf by Night?
Mm-hmm.
I need to look that up.
Yeah.
Why are they enemies to begin with? And why was Werewolf by Night getting his butt kicked so easily? That don't make any sense. He's a freaking werewolf.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot to contemplate. I'm gonna have to think on
Unless
this.
Dracula already drained him. Well, my dog, hold that.
Alright. I need to get some sleep.
You want to take a night?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I tried to figure it out where we, anyways. I'm tired.
Signing off.
Signing off. Good night. And again, once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and things.
Leave comments. Let us know what you think.
Your hair is
a mess, I know.
All right. Good night.
Wild style.
Bye.
Bye.